We are best friends forever, through the sun and stormy weather. Laugh and play the whole.
Hey everybody, good afternoon. It's Bobby Poole and
Clay Uyghur.
with Bobby and Clay's Buckets of Money. Today we have the most fantastic guest on. Clay and I met her, the first of last year and fell in love with her. She was speaking at an event we were at and it was absolutely mesmerizing. I'm not going to get into how much money she costs. Clay and I will go down that road later. But she was a school teacher originally for 10 years. She was actually the great state of Texas. She was teacher of the year in the year 2007. She is an acclaimed author of 6 books. And we are so happy to have her come and talk with us. And I think you guys are really going to love her. It is Nika Maples.
Oh, hello. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on with us.
Thank you,
But
Nika. Thank you for being here with us. I
yeah,
think everyone will very much enjoy just getting to know you today. So thank you for that.
if you
Great.
don't, you are not human. You're AI. And so that's, we're going to leave it at that. But so like to start out, what is your purpose? Why did you stop teaching? Doing what you're doing, how Clay and I met you. You were speaking.
Right. Yeah. So for the longest time, I just felt like the number one thing that I can bring to any situation is hope. Like it doesn't matter what the situation, my purpose is to bring hope into it. And so that's not toxic positivity. That's just giving some airtime to the possibility of hope, because I think we've all been through really hard things. And then you just don't like it if somebody's coming in and saying, but there's a silver lining in every cloud. That's not what I'm talking about. There's a grittiness to hope. There's a challenging nature to hope. And so I'm not talking about just breezing over or glossing over a difficult situation, but giving that airtime to positivity and possibility that could come out of even the most painful things we go through. That's my purpose. And I loved doing it in the classroom. I was the kind of teacher that did bring hope to students that they led some really difficult lives. I mean, parents sometimes were incarcerated and they were, providing for their siblings or living with grandparents that were too old to care for the family. And they were like the provider, this teenager. And then they were also trying to go to school. They needed hope. So I really loved that. But at a certain point, I really sensed that I needed a broader audience. And I started sharing. I was asked to speak so often that it was kind of interfering with my daily job as a teacher. I said one of them has to give, and I moved on to writing and speaking full time.
Awesome. And you've written 6 books?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. And then give us a taste of all 6, like I couldn't write a pamphlet, much less 6 books. And I think I've lived a pretty fun, crazy, cool life, but it would be a short pamphlet. It would not be a book.
I started with my memoir, just like the amazing story of how I survived a stroke when I was 20 years old, and then moved on to write a general book about going through hardship. That one's called Hunting Hope. It's like when you can't find any hope, you got to hunt for it. And then I wrote a book about starting over after you've been through something hard, and just like embracing a whole new life. Because sometimes we all know there are some things that are so hard, and maybe these don't come around often, maybe once in a lifetime, maybe twice, when something hits you so hard, you're just kind of leveled. It's like, I got to build a whole new life now. So I have a book that addresses that, and then two devotionals, and then also a book that teaches people how to write books. So if all you can write is a pamphlet, Bobby, then maybe you need my book on how to write books.
Okay. I will definitely take a look at that one. That is fantastic. And we love your story. I mean, you had mentioned in the first one, you had Clay and I have been, you know, been able to hear your story, and I would love for the audience to hear what you said. You had a stroke. You want to kind of go into that a little bit, because that is
Absolutely.
it's really, really just life changing how you came out of that, and the positivity is phenomenal, because in this day and age there's so much negativity. What you do is, I'd love for the audience to hear this.
Yeah. So when I was 12 years old is kind of when it started. I was diagnosed with systemic lupus, which is when your immune system attacks your own body. Some people who are listening today may have that kind of autoimmune disorder or know someone who does. And so it doesn't affect everyone in the same way. But for me, as I grew up, it started lupus started affecting my kidneys, and doctors thought that maybe a treatment that would be effective, kind of an experimental treatment at the time in the 90s, was high doses of chemotherapy. So when I was a senior in high school, I went on chemotherapy to treat lupus. But one of the things that you sign when you take chemotherapy is, this may cause a stroke. And you sign it quickly because you're looking at the possible benefits of how it could help you in other ways. And you always think, well, these side effects won't happen to me. And to this day, we aren't exactly sure that the stroke was a side effect of the chemotherapy, or if it was, some doctors believe it was a result of the lupus itself. At that point, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It's like, it happened. Who cares? I don't know. But shortly after I started taking chemotherapy, one day it was like I just fell to my face on the ground. I had been experiencing some mild symptoms, not mild, but comparatively mild. Like I would go blind in my left eye, then my vision would come back. I'd go blind in my left eye again, and then my vision would. I was a sophomore in college, so it was like, at that time, I think sometimes youth makes you feel a little bit invincible. So it's like, this is weird, but like, my vision comes back. So it's not a lasting problem, and but different things like that. And then it came all to a crescendo when I fell to my face on the carpet one night. And it was like, my mom, I happened to be home from college that day, and my mom was in the other room. She heard the crash and she came running, and she was like, I was unresponsive. And she called the ambulance, and they took me to the intensive care unit, where they just said she's experiencing a stroke, basically, a brain injury that is close enough and similar to a stroke. I was completely paralyzed. I mean, quadriplegic, but also not only was I like immobile from the neck down, I couldn't open my eyes. I couldn't swallow. I had no way of communicating, couldn't speak. So when doctors, they would poke you or pinch you, can you feel this? Are you hearing? Can you hear? I was very aware. I could hear all of that. I could feel it, but I couldn't respond. So they're like, nope, she didn't feel it. I'm like, I did, but I did. I just couldn't tell you, and I could hear everything to the nth degree. I mean, when you lose some of your 5 senses, like if I couldn't see, then that's in essence like the loss of my sight. If I couldn't, feel a lot of things to ascertain my surroundings, simply because I'm totally immobile, your remaining senses get so, and I wasn't tasting either, because I didn't eat anything for 10 days. And it was like my hearing became super hearing. Your body
We are best friends forever, through the sun and stormy weather.
Little tiny things. And I was listening all the time. And I heard my parents being told by physicians that I had 48 hours. I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
And they told my parents, she's got 48 hours left. You can bring 2 people to say goodbye. So
Holy.
pick the 2 people other than your family. And they picked 2 people. And I'll share with your listeners what is so significant. And I don't think y'all have heard that. You've heard me speak several times now.
Yes.
Then
I haven't heard this.
Yeah. You what?
I haven't heard this.
Okay. So like this is a big important thing, I think, for people to know. It just didn't fit in any of the messages that y'all have heard. So I'm happy to share, like, of the 2 people that my parents brought to say goodbye to me. And they were 2 very important people to me at the time. One had hope. And she is a Christian. She believed that after death, there's heaven and that she was going to see me again. And so she said, I know you must be listening. I know you're hearing. We were alone in the room. And she said, yeah, I know you can hear me. And I just want to tell you, if Jesus comes for you, it's okay for you to go with him. Just go. And she said, I'm going to miss you the same way that I would miss my right arm if I lost my right arm. But I'm going to learn how to do things left-handed. So don't feel bad about leaving me today.
Wow.
That's what my dearest friend said that. We went and had breakfast today.
Yeah.
I mean, 30 years later, like, we're still close.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because she spoke hope. It was just like, one way or the other, we win in this situation.
Yes.
I'll see you again, or I'll see you tomorrow. I mean, and the other person that came to say goodbye was not someone who believed. And that makes a difference, because it's very hard to have any hope when you're facing a life and death situation. And it was all just like, well, bye. It's been great. I mean, and then just cried and said nothing else. And I was like, whoa, this is why we need faith. This is why, because when it matters the most, it's the difference between having hope and not having hope, so that, I just think that would be interesting to any of your listeners, just to hear, like, one of the real reasons to keep going with our faith, if you have just a little bit, it's like, build it up, because you're going to need it in one way or another, whether it's a life or death situation, or if it's like a financial crisis. I mean, you need even more faith during those times when you're like trying to pay bills and you don't have it. And like all the things we go through in life, the key to hope is our faith that God knows what he's doing. And he's going to use everything in our lives for his good and for our good. And we can trust that even when it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's power.
That is awesome. Well, I do want you to tell them, because I've heard the story and I think it's hilarious, how you woke up and why you woke up in that hospital bed. Because the story is you got mad, sister.
Right. Yes. Like, one of the ways that they knew that I was listening, like one of the ways that they could tell that I could hear, because the whole time I was like, my mom would open a Coke and I'd be like, oh, I could hear it. You hear that crack and that fizz. And when you're thirsty, it's like, oh my God, oh no, don't do that. Or she was like, she was hungry and she needed a snack. My mom would like pour out peanuts in her hand. I'm like, the tinkling sound of peanuts coming out of the jar and that rich aroma. I'm like, peanuts and Coke in my presence. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But I couldn't express that and no one could see it. But my brother, like I said, I was 20 and my brother was 17. And, I give him all the grace in the world. He was 17. I mean, he had on his mind the thing that a 17-year-old boy has on their mind was usually a car. It was
Yeah.
one of the things. And so he came in and he goes, "Hey, Mom," he didn't have a car. And he said, "Mom, hey, while Nika's not driving her car, can I have her keys?" And my mom was like, "Well, yeah, sure." I mean, it was a very matter of fact exchange. I think we didn't all realize how serious it was. And he goes, "Thanks. Okay, yeah." So he took the keys, and I mean, my heart rate apparently it went so high. That's what happens when you're angry. Your heart rate goes up, and nurses noticed that. And then later, every time my brother would come after school, drive in my car to come to the hospital, and he would come to visit, the nurses said, "Hey, she's in there. She can
Oh,
hear."
yeah.
And my mom was like, "Why? How do you know?" And they said, I mean, my mom knew. She
Well,
kept saying,
yeah.
"I
I'm
know."
sure the monitor went like, he's not there. He's not there. He's not
He
there.
said,
And then he comes in. It's like, doot, 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 like
right.
something's going on here.
They said every time he walks in, um, her heart rate goes crazy. That's a sign of anger. She's angry because you gave him the car keys. And my mom was like, "Oh,
The teapot went from blue to red.
yes, that's
You
right."
know?
And that's also a sign of youth. I mean, like I was just 20 because now it's like, fine, I don't even care about my car
Yeah,
now.
exactly. Put gas in it, you know?
I know, but I'm like, if I'm laying there in ICU, that's the thing. But at 20, I'm like, I'm getting out of here, and
I need my car.
I
Yeah.
better not find a dent in that thing. So, yeah,
That is phenomenal. Well, we're so glad that you have made it to the other side and come out the other end, so to speak.
yeah,
And the word of hope, I absolutely love it. And then you know if you get a chance to ever hear her speak, she's got some awesome stories, because even some of her students have come back to her and said, "You're not doing what you said you were going to do." And I
yeah.
like that one.
That's the thing is, y'all, when you okay, this is just so true. And I don't have any kids, but like parents, y'all know this, like that you're always going to have to give an account for what you say. If you say, "I promise we're going to do this later," if
You
you say
better.
that to your 3-year-old, the 3-year-old's going to be like, "You promised." I mean, like, and the same thing for, an 18-year-old. They're going to like, "You promised." I mean, and that goes back to scripture. There's a sentence in the Bible where Jesus says, "You will have to, everyone, you will have to give an account for every idle word you have spoken." And I'm like, what kind of word? An idle word. What is idling? Idling is just sitting there.
Yeah.
That's what idling is. It's like a car that's running and not using the power that it has. It's just like chugging in place. Y'all, we've had conversations as friends, just about people that stay put. They say they're going to do something, and then they stay put. They do not take action, and it's like, you can't. They're going to run out of gas.
Yes.
Right? You're just going to sit there and run out of gas, and you got all this power, this engine at your disposal, your ability to take action and really go for it, and you're just sitting there. Our words are like that. Our words are powerful, and if we just keep making promises that we don't act on, they're idle words, and we're going to have to give an account for that. So, as a teacher, I was making promises and big statements to my classes, and I meant them. And a lot of them actually came to pass. But one of them was, I was like, "Y'all, I'm going to write a book one day. You're going to see it, but then years pass, and the words become the most well-meaning words become idle words, as they're just sitting there chugging, but not going anywhere. And so I had a student come back to me. He was a sophomore in my class, and then he came back as a freshman in college, and he spoke to a different class. Like, sometimes teachers will invite a student back to be an inspirational speaker and say, this is what college is like, take advantage of your time to. And so he did that for one of my classes, and then after the day was over, we were catching up, and he goes, hey, whatever happened to that book you were going to write? It's like,
Called me on my words. Yeah.
choking on what I've said. Why did I ever say it? And then, because I hadn't done anything with it, and I said, well, I've gotten busy, and I mean, I'm gonna get around to it, and I mean, it's just not the right time. All the excuses that we all make. Got a lot going on right now. And he stood up like this big defensive end that's like 5 inches taller than I am, just standing there. And he's like, Miss Maples, it's time to do what you were born to do. And I was like, it's just, that right there. Okay. That's an example of bringing hope into a situation.
Yeah.
It's hope is not toxic positivity. Hope is opening the door back up to possibility. And sometimes when we bring hope into a situation, it just is uncomfortable. And I was very uncomfortable when that student said it to me, but it was the best thing he could have said, because it's like he was saying, I'm holding you to what you said you were going to do.
Hold you accountable.
Yes, holding you accountable for the idle words that are just sitting there running and burning up gas. Because our time on earth is limited. We feel like it's not. It feels like it's like we've got forever, but that's just not true. We're burning up gas. And so it's like, okay, are you going to do something with it or not? And that young man's like speaking hope to me in an uncomfortable way is what enabled me to write 6 books. Like, I started churning them out. And it's like, are you mad at somebody for holding you accountable? No.
No.
Hey, Nika, where is that young man now? Do you know? What's he doing?
You know what? I need to get back in touch with him. I do. I still have his number.
Yeah.
I think he lives locally, and but I haven't spoken to him in a few years, so I need to get back in touch with him.
I'd love some feedback on that from you at some point, either personally or back on another podcast or something. That'd be kind of cool. And just to kind of round that out, I don't know. I'm sure he knows something, but I wonder if he actually knows the ripple effect his words of hope had that day. And one of the things I think that goes unmentioned or unnoticed when we start talking about these things, 2 things come to mind. One is, man, I mean, he wasn't selling hope. He was, but not in the traditional way. Like you were saying, like hope's not this, great big friendly thing that we think it is sometimes. But also we forget about the ripple effects that we have in this world, and that God gave us those things for a reason, right? And so, he gave you that hope, and look what you did with it. And then think about the impact of that down the pipe, things that you'll never know. You've given so many people hope, Nika, through your speaking and just books and different things. The ripple effect that people like you and Myron have is just the wake is so big,
Yeah. Well, the ripple effect that we all have, though. I mean, that all of us have. But it's just in most cases we don't have the privilege of finding out about it, because if you never know, it could be somebody like at the store when you're checking out with the cash register, and you say something that really makes an impact, but you might never see that person again, and they have no way of following up. And so the connection is lost, and you don't know that impact. It just so happens that because I'm a communicator, like I'm sharing the impact of that. But the thing is, most of us are having these amazing opportunities to spur one another on to hope in a moment, and we will never find out and we just have to trust. You just have to trust that it's worth it. And sometimes it falls flat. And that's what you have to be willing to endure. Because you can't make it happen. You can't make the hope ignite somebody. And I've wanted to, believe me, I've wanted to like say the one thing that is going to put a fire in somebody, and then it falls flat. Or maybe it's like slow burning and later it makes a difference. And I have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with not knowing the direct outcome of just continuing to keep going and staying positive and staying full of possibility no matter what.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the outcome is already determined, and you either waste it, like you were talking about. The only thing that you could waste is time. You can't get that back. You can get back everything else, but you cannot get back time.
Right.
And I live, and Clay's heard me say this before, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And they're going to fit in one or three of those categories. And I think if everybody looked at something that way, is like, why did that happen? And that person's come and gone. Okay, there was a reason that they were only there for that period of time. Understand that. Think about that. Most people just go through the world though, hemming and hawing, and they don't take the time to literally think about, why did that happen to me? Not pity me, woe is me, which a lot of people do, and that drives me insane. It's like, you're given a purpose in this life, figure out what that purpose is, and then hopefully you have enough hope in your own heart that you do it, or you run into somebody that gives you that hope and shows you that, man, that person's got it worse off than me. Why am I waddling in my, desire of not doing anything? It's like, get off of it and do it. Spit on it and go, like I always say. I've got 4 daughters, and unfortunately, I probably raised them more like a boy, because I'm like, Daddy, I hurt my finger. Spit on it and go. Let's go. It's like, it's okay. But
Nico, can I ask you? So I heard your purpose is to bring hope to people, but Bobby hit on designing. Said the word design a second ago. So how are you designing the future, of your life, so that you can fulfill your purpose and bring that hope? What are the tools that maybe other people could learn from? Strategies, things that you're doing technically. How do you think about this stuff? You've obviously had so much success in book writing and public speaking. And so how do those things, I don't know that, I guess what I'm asking you is that I don't think those things were organic. I think you designed those things and set forth and went and did them, correct?
It's a little bit of both, because I mean, I wouldn't want any. Here's the danger when you have a podcast like this, and like a person like me has a chance to be a guest on a podcast. They put their best face forward. I'm only telling you like the highlights, right? I'm only telling you the highlights, because that's what we have time for in a podcast. And you don't see the days that I look like an absolute slug and can't even motivate myself to do anything. I mean, I'm going to be honest about it.
Sure.
I don't.
That's real. That's real talk right there. That's good.
Yeah. And I'm like,
it's not always Care Bears and bacon.
Right. Right. It's like, and I'm not like following a morning routine that's all flawless, and like none of that. But it's like, here's the thing, that it's really an average game. Your life is an average a lot. Like, you're going to have a lot of days that you just don't make the right choices. There's a lot of days that you don't do the right, like you just don't take advantage of it at all, of the fact that you're breathing and you have an opportunity. You're going to have a lot of amazing opportunities that you waste. I mean, I could list them off right now. The amazing opportunity, like in my life, if I had made the most of that, do you know what would be happening right now? I'm like, I wasted it. I blew it. But the thing is, it's like, what you want to do is not try for perfection every day. It's like, I'm going to get as much as I can out of as much as I can. And so at the end, your life, it's like I made some really good choices, and the average of my life turned out to be a really good life because most of what I did was like really headed in the right direction. So people can give themselves the grace of like, when you listen to a podcast and you're like, man, I'm a loser because all these people are so awesome. It's like, no, they're not. They're telling you the highlights, and they do all the same things that you do. It's fine. Just pick yourself up and be like, I'm creating like an average here. Like most of the time, I want to have my head in the right direction. So I personally, Clay, you asked like if there are any strategies as a writer, as an English teacher, I am fascinated by the power of words. I am extremely careful with the words that I put around me. Like right now in my office, I have words here and there. I mean, like I have words that I'm careful about the words that I put around me. I'm careful about the words that I say. There's so many words that are really common to use that I would not touch. I wouldn't touch it. You wouldn't catch me saying it. And
Now you've piqued our curiosity.
yeah, well, I mean, and I'm not even talking about curse words.
No,
I'm not even talking about that. Like
I know.
profanity.
What?
Why
did you assume that's what we were talking about? That's what I want to know.
I smiled because I thought my mom's from Georgia, so she had a few little phrases growing up.
I love your mom because that's where I'm from. So there we go.
So I smiled because I suddenly thought of one of the things she said over and over and over. Whenever she would hear somebody say a curse word, like any kind of profanity, she would just go. They just had something in their mouth that I wouldn't hold in my hand. And
I'm stealing that.
Yeah.
Like, that's gold. And I heard it so many times. They just had something in their mouth I wouldn't hold in my hand.
There you go. We used to hear, I'm going to come wash your mouth out with soap.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't want to eat any soap. So, yeah,
Right. So, but I'm even talking beyond profanity. Take a close look at like how common is it to say when you're frustrated with somebody, you're like, oh man, you're killing me. I would never say that.
Yeah.
Other than or I'm just like, you're making me sick. This is making me sick.
Mm-hmm.
We say that all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope. I try to be so guarded with words because I know how powerful they are. I try to be so guarded that I'm like, unless I want that to be true, I'm not going to say it. And that takes incredible discipline, number one, but it does become easier. At first, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But because if everybody's saying it, oh, you're killing me. Oh, it's making me sick. I mean, all that stuff. It's like common vernacular. Everyone's saying it.
Right.
And so it's like really hard not to. I would never correct anybody. I'm only responsible for my own mouth. So I'm like, say it if you want. I'm just not saying it.
Right.
Because I'm like, unless I want it to be true, I want to be very cautious. And over time, you work it out of your vocabulary. And it's like, I find something else to say. I'm not saying that. So that's an element of discipline, Clay, that I've employed. It's like, I start the day with some journaling on most days. Some days I don't. But some days, I feel better if I've got like my coffee made. I'm going to sit down with my journal and I'm just like, I'm expecting great things today. I'll just start writing it. Like, I'm expecting great things today. This is my best day yet. I'm like looking forward to these things. So I get myself in a better mood because there are times you can wake up and you're just like, oh,
yeah. Crick in your neck. Day's already started wrong. Yeah.
Right. You're already dreading a call that has to be made. And I'm like, I got to reset.
Yeah.
Like, this call is going to be easier than I think it is. I'm going to get it done. And then this is going to be fantastic for my business when I do this and check it out. I mean, I get myself in a good frame of mind, because think about it, like the frame is what everything is built on. I'm in a house right now. Somebody put this frame up, and everything about this house is built on the frame. And I'm like, if you start your day completely unchecked, like whatever thought comes to your brain, that's the one you're going with. No, thank you. I always say, not every thought that enters has to be entertained. I mean, I have people that ring my doorbell. I'm sure y'all do too. It's like, ding dong, hi, like we're doing roofing in your neighborhood. 6 of your people on your street are using us for their roofing. I'm like, great, thanks. I'm not interested. They'll leave, right? I don't go, oh, hi, come on in. Let me give you some pound cake and show you my high school yearbook. I mean, I don't like stay a while.
Yeah.
Let's get to know each other. He's like, just seeing if you're taking what I'm offering. I'm not taking that today. Great. Move along. Then the pest control person, knock, knock. We're doing pest control services. Thanks. I don't need that today. I'm not like, do you want to see the new bedding that I just bought? Come on in.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're going to love the ruffles. I mean, like, I don't get to share life with that person that's just like, do you want what I'm offering? No. Okay, move along. That is what your thoughts are like. They come unbidden. They're like, hey, your business is a failure. Are you taking what I'm offering today?
Yeah.
And you need to be like, no, I'm not. Door closed. Instead of like, yeah, let's come sit down. Let's talk about it a while.
Yeah. Let's ponder on failure for the rest of the day. Yes.
For the rest of the day. So that by the end of the day, your business really is a failure because you didn't do anything.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's how I used to get stuck. And I'm just like, I'm more aware of the times I get stuck in that. I'm like, whoa, I've already spent enough time on that. Nope. Nobody else can be responsible for your brain but you.
Correct.
Nobody else is coming to clean it up. Correct. That's your job. There ain't no trash day for your brain unless you're doing it.
Right. And that's unfortunately society, whether it's social media, there's so much negativity in the world. It's just everything's negative. So I agree with that wholeheartedly. Positive affirmation, get up in the morning, put your best foot forward, move forward. It's just, yeah. Otherwise you just stay in the muck and it's not fun down there.
Yeah.
Nico, what's next for you? What's exciting? What's going on?
Oh, Clay, I have an amazing idea for a book. I mean, like,
here we go.
I know. I feel like here we go. I mean, like,
you're not gonna idle. You're not gonna sit there and idle.
I'm like going full throttle.
That a girl. Drop the hammer.
I really have always wanted to write a certain kind of book. I won't share any more about it because I'll tell you this. I'll tell you another secret.
Okay. Nobody's listening. Nobody's watching.
Just us here. It's just us and all of YouTube. But this is another secret is that I tell, because I do help. I coach people to write books. When people are like, I want to write a book, they come to me and they're like, can you give me some advice? Can you coach me with a book? And I do help people with that. And one of the things that I've told people is your heart is a pressure cooker. Do y'all ever cook with a pressure cooker? It's kind of a Southern thing to do. But I'm like, it cooks things fast and it's like good. It's cooked well. It's cooked fast with a pressure cooker. But the key is keeping the steam in there. If you let out the steam, it's not going to work. And I'm like, your heart, the human heart is a creative pressure cooker. And when you get an idea, you got to keep it in there. But the steam builds up and the steam builds up. And that's the pressure cooker part is that the steam builds up because you're thinking about this idea. And what most people, the reason why, there's 97% of all people want to write a book. but only 3% do it. Why? I believe because they let the steam off the pressure cooker of their heart. When they're talking to somebody, they're like, hey, I want to write a book. I'm going to write a book one day. And somebody goes, well, what's it going to be about? And they'll tell. And they talk about it and they tell and they tell. Oh, I'm going to do. But it's the same with business. It's the same with anything. Oh, I'm going to start a business. Do you know I'm going to start a jewelry business? Do you know I'm going to start this, like, I'm going to start a bakery? They talk about it too much. And then they go home after that dinner with a friend and all the steam's gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very similar to going to these events where we met you, and everybody's, like an Anthony Robbins, you go to them, hey, and people walk out and go, what was I supposed to do?
Right.
What do I need to do?
Right.
You need to implement.
Plus, they get disrupted too. As soon as you get home, if you have good intentions, disruption immediately follows it. And so it's not altogether the fault of those people. It's the way it's designed. You have to overcome the disruption to get that.
Absolutely. And with the analogy I'm using, you just got to overcome the urge to let off the steam, because it's the discomfort. It's the discomfort of having an idea in the cooking stage. And it's like, if you can discipline yourself, like you're saying, to overcome an obstacle, to overcome the disruption that follows, the same thing has to happen. You have to discipline yourself to say, I'd love to tell you about the business I'm about to start. And when it's time, I will. I'd love to tell you about the book that I'm going to write. And when it's time, you're going to hear about it. Right now, it's cooking. And I have to discipline myself to let the steam stay in there. It's only uncomfortable to me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable to me to have a idea cooking and it's not to fruition yet. But if we can do it, I'm implementing right now. I'm writing down notes. I'm thinking about it. I'm starting the chapters. I've got to be implementing on the steam that's building up in me. Otherwise, I'm all talk. As they say in Texas, all hat, no saddle. You can't be like all talk.
Yep.
You gotta show me the action.
Yep. Show me the money. Jerry Maguire movie. Great movie. Yeah. Show me the money. Yeah.
The action. So, but words are the number one way. And so I am working on my words. That what's next for me is a new kind of book. My goal is to get it finished, maybe, some kind of action moving it forward, whether I choose to self-publish or I seek traditional publishing with it within this year. So you won't have to wait very long.
Good.
Okay, good.
Well, thanks for sharing the progress with it as best you can.
Yeah.
And I do like that's helpful to me, what you just said. It helps me and move forward in my life and in my endeavors as well. So I'm sure it helps other people watching this too. It makes me think, I wonder if I've let off some steam on some things, and that's why I haven't done them.
And the good news is that you can get it back. Just be like, I'm going to quit talking about that. I'm just going to do it. People will end up seeing it. They'll all get the information. It'll just be at the right time. After it's like, whoa, look at what Clay's doing. Tell me about what you're doing, not tell me about what you're thinking.
Right. Yeah. Right. What do they say? Do it in silence, not running around telling everybody what you're doing. Because then when it comes out, it's more profound. And people are like, whoa.
Where'd that come from?
He wasn't kidding what you said. But one quick funny pressure cooker story.
Yeah.
My mom was cooking turnip greens, which I love. Turnip greens, collard greens, Georgia boy, in the pressure cooker. We came home. She picked us up from somewhere, I'm sure football practice or something, came home. The pressure cooker had exploded.
Why'd you have to tell me they really explode?
There was turnip greens all over the roof. The ceiling. And we walked in, we're like, dinner served. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I probably still ate them off the ceiling because I loved them. So yeah.
That's a memory and a half.
Hmm.
I've always been afraid they would really explode. And I'm
It,
like,
it did.
really, it won't, but you're telling me it will.
Yeah, this was the old turn the top, had the little thing on top. Mom, are they supposed to be up there? Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Dad, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing this weekend. You're repainting
Right.
the ceiling.
Is that awesome? Oh my goodness.
Not a joke. Yep, that was all. Yeah, so they do explode. Yes, they do explode.
No, they really would.
Don't go pick up your kids from football practice and leave the
Leave
pressure
it.
cooker. I don't even know. Do they still have pressure cookers these days?
Yeah.
Because now they have the hot air fryer and all, the
Yeah.
other stuff.
And they have a kind of like an electric plug-in pressure cooker, which is what I use. But my mom still has the old kind with the little thing on the
Lock
top.
it.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember it very well. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we absolutely appreciate you coming on. What I think we learned today, and you guys can, add to it as well. We got hope, we got mindset, we got idle or implementation. Are you an idler or are you an implementer? Which one do you want to be? And the hope and the positivity that you bring and the way you speak. If anybody gets a chance to hear her talk, you better get there.
Oh.
Pick up her books. Where can they find your books, Nika?
Yeah. You know what? You can look up Nika Maples. If you just look up Nika Maples, Google it, Nika, 1K, and then Maples like the trees. You'll find it. I mean, that's the fastest way is just to Google my name, but they're all 6 books are on Amazon. You can go to my website if you want to get in touch with me about anything, speaking or otherwise.
We will put a link.
Very easy to find.
We will absolutely put a link on our YouTube page and our channel when this comes out. There'll be a link to everything that you do, and I'm sure. Are you speaking at one of Myron's events coming up soon? Do we know?
I don't know yet. That
All right.
remains to be seen, but I would love to. So
Okay.
I'm always open.
Okay. Well, we absolutely appreciate your time and thanks for coming on with us. And we hope to see everybody has a fantastic 2026. Sounds like Nika's coming out with a book in 2026. So everybody, Clay, make note of that. We're going to hold that to the fire for her. But
Yep.
Thank you so much, Nika. Great to
Thank
see you.
you. You too.
all right, we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you again next time we do one of these. All right, take care.
Bye-bye. All right, good.
Yay!
That was good, guys. Thank you. That was
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Yes, thank you.